Hi everyone. I'm like unbelievably depressed and I have been sleeping. I literally slept what time is it right now? It's 7:13 p.m. and I woke up at like 7 a.m. and ate something and then went back to sleep. And then before that, I slept pretty much. I went to bed at like 9 o'clock last night and then slept from 9 to 7. And then, yeah, so I'm just super, like, unbelievably depressed right now. It's been hard for me, like, I haven't showered. It's been hard for me really to, like, just do normal things. One of my friends from high school died, so, that's like been really hard on me because I just saw him before he died. And then also like other things like just like life in general. So I'm just like, sorry, this is gonna be like me ranting and like having an absolute like mental breakdown, but why not? So because like honestly, like me making YouTube videos and me making videos, it helps me because it makes me feel not so isolated. It also, like, just when people, like, comment and they're like, oh my god, you know, like, I'm going through something like this, or, like, thank you for making this, like, I feel very similar. You know, I feel like when you're, like, really depressed, it's easy to segregate yourself and think that, like, you are so special because you're having all these like emotions, when it's like everybody has all these like crazy emotions and everybody gets down on themselves sometimes, and it's so fucking okay to like sometimes have a mental breakdown. Like I feel like people on Instagram, they make their lives seem like so beautiful, like so retouched and so gorgeous. I'm like, oh my god, I wake up like this. No, like I literally woke up like this after I haven't even like looked in a mirror, and I'm making a YouTube video for all of you guys to see. You know, it's like I just feel like sometimes people are they're too like fake nowadays, and you know, it's like no, like people like have flaws. It's like right now I feel like I'm having like a mental breakdown. Okay. So, just like what else has been going on? I don't know. You know, when I came to Massachusetts for the summer, it was like just I feel like I've been spiraling. Like everything has been spiraling out of control. So at first, you know, it's like I broke up with my boyfriend, and a lot of that had to do with the fact that I was in a relationship for 4 years, but I really wasn't in love with somebody. I was just in it for convenience, and I knew that, and like all of my best friends were like, you know, like you're not in love with him, you know, like why are you with him? And I loved him, but I didn't love him like you should love somebody that you want to like be married to, you know, or get married to. And like I couldn't even like imagine us getting married. Like I couldn't even like imagine us like walking down an aisle together. But it was like so convenient, you know, like him and I being together was so convenient. And it's like, is that why you want to be with somebody? Because it's convenient? I don't know, you know. I didn't want to be with somebody because it was convenient. Like I feel like in like the 40s and the 50s, like you had to get married. Like you had to. Like women couldn't open a bank account. Like some women in the Middle East, like in some places in the Middle East, women still can't open a bank account, and they can't even travel without like a man, even if it's like a relative who's like 4 or 5 years old. Like you have to have a man with you. You know, it's like. So I feel like in America in like the 40s and 50s, like you had to get married. You know, it was like a convenience thing. Not saying my parents got married out of convenience, but my parents have been together for 50 years. You know, my parents got married when they were 19 and 20, you know? Like, that's crazy. That's crazy to think about. That my parents have been married for 50 years. And it's like I know that my parents love each other, but it's like if they had all of the things that we have now, like if they had the internet and they had, you know, like, there was something that once was like, a man is only as loyal as his options. And it's like we have so many like unlimited options now with like social media and stuff. not saying that, like, Dave and I broke up because of anything to do with that. I'm just saying you see other people's lives and you're like, wow, like, they have such, like, unattractive husband and they have, like, this and they have that. Like, why don't I have this and why don't I have that? And I do have to say that, like, yeah, sometimes I really was, like, I loved Dave, but I wasn't, like, attracted to him. And I was like, should I be with someone that I'm attracted to? I don't know. So, yeah, I could have made an easy decision and I could have gone to Seattle with Dave, but I decided not to. I decided to, that I was going to stay in LA. And then I went from, oh, I'm going to stay in LA to, oh, I'm going to go visit my family, because my family was like, oh, we have this house for you to stay in. And, you know, my parents aren't doing well health-wise. And I was like, oh, this is great. I'm going to go visit them and see them. It's going to be such a great time. I was like, this is going to be the summer of my life. Like, I'm going to go visit all of my friends. And I'm going to go, like, have such a good time. I'm going to, like, spend time with my family. Like do stuff with them, because, you know, it's hard for my parents have, like, a lot of health issues that I don't talk about because my mom is, like, really, really private. My mom doesn't want anybody knowing. But, you know, like, I was like, I have to do cooking and cleaning and a lot of stuff that they, like, physically can't do anymore. And I was like, this is great, you know, like, I'm gonna be able to come and be with my family and really help them and all this stuff. And then I came here and it was like, you know, my brother and I, like, just have all these problems. Like, we just do not like each other. And, you know, I actually really had no problem with him. I don't really understand why he even does not like me, because I have never done anything to him that would make him not like me, other than the fact of, like, I feel like he was engaged, and I feel like the girl that he was engaged to, like, really poisoned his mind towards me, because he would say a lot of crazy things that really, like, weren't true, and I didn't even know where, like, these accusations came from. Like, there was this guy who my brother he worked with my mom. He was, like, in his early 20s, and he worked with my mom, and he would play video games with my brother. So my brother is 7 years older than me. So I was 8 or 9 years old, and my brother would play video games with this guy who was in his early 20s. They were, like, friends or something, which I know is, like, weird now to think about. But he would, like, help him practice. My brother was, like, in video game competitions. And my brother accused me of sleeping with that guy, like, in this in this trip to Boston. And I was kind of like, what are you talking about? First of all, I haven't even, like, heard this guy's name in, like, 20 years. Second of all, if I had had sex with that guy when I knew him, that would be rape, because I was a very young child. And why would you even think that I would somehow nowadays even, like, know him or come across him? Like, where would I even have seen him, you know? And he was, like, accusing me of sleeping with him, which I was like, first of all, why do you even care who the hell I would sleep with? But second of all, like, that's, like, the most nutty thing. Like, how in the world would I even, like, you know what I mean? Like, it was so weird. And then, I just feel like my mom, like, really, like, took my brother's side on, like, really crazy things. Like, you know, like, my brother just saying and doing, like, horrific things to me, and my mother just taking his side and somehow twisting it into that I was wrong and that I had somehow done something. So it really went from me, like, coming here really being like, oh, I'm going to help, and I'm going to, like, you know, cook and clean. 'Cause every time I come here, literally every time, I get off the plane and then spend hours, like 8 hours, cleaning my parents' house and cooking for my parents and making sure my parents have what they need and doing everything for them. And it's like, because of all of this drama with my brother, I haven't seen my parents. I see my dad. I don't see my mom. I don't talk to my mom at all. And it's really depressing. It's, like, really, really depressing that, you know, I thought I would come here and, you know, have a better relationship, and somehow I have a worse relationship. And I haven't seen a lot of friends that I normally would love to see. Like, I'm seeing one of my best friends next week for dinner, but, you know, it's like everybody has lives. Clearly everyone has jobs and families, and, you know, it's hard to see them. But on top of it, it's like I have just been so sad. Like, I really have been sad, you know. It's like I went through a breakup, and then I gave up my place, and then I came here, and then my brother was extremely, like, abusive towards me. So I was like, I am not staying, you know, anything to do with my family or, you know, anything. So now I'm living in a hotel, which is really expensive, you know, and then on top of the hotel being, like, expensive, it's like, but I feel like I need to be here because of, like, you know, it's better for me. I was going to start school in California, and then my friend was like, we should just go look at this school out here. And I was like, well, I'm most definitely never living in Massachusetts again. I hate Massachusetts. I hate the weather. You know, like, I have seasonal depression. I don't like the cold. Like, the people in Massachusetts just seem mean all the time. Like, when you see somebody, they're always like they always have, like, a mean face, where I feel like in California, people, like, smile at you. Like, you see someone, they're like, you know, and I went and looked at the school, and it was a million times better than the school I'm planning on going to in California. And I'm like, oh my God, like, it was so nice. It was like 5 stories, and it just seemed so much nicer, and, like, the classes were so much bigger, and it just seemed like so much more than the school that I was going to. Like, the school that I plan on going to in California is, like, 2 rooms. It's, like, in a strip mall. It's literally, like, between a like an Italian restaurant and a Red Lobster, and there's the school. Where it's like the one that I looked at in Massachusetts, it literally looked like a college. It was like 5 stories. There was like a big administration area. There was like there was a huge area for like when you learn makeup. There was a huge like floor just for learning makeup. There was a floor just for learning massage. There was a floor just for learning like facials and techniques like that, and it just looked like a real college. Like, it just looked so much better than the school that I'm planning on going to in California. And that kind of like broke my heart, because I was like, oh my God, like, do I stay here and go to this school that looks amazing? Like, what is really in California? Well, my car and all of my possessions are in storage there. So it's like, just in order for me to even consider living out here, I would need to go back there and get my car. I would need to go back there and get all my stuff. And it's like, the school out here looked so much better, but I hate being here. Like, being here for the summer is great. Like, it's warm, it's nice. Like, being here in the winter is awful. It's snowy, it's disgusting. Like, the people are mean. And I just, like, don't know what to do. Like, I'm really at this very awkward, like, in-between stage of life of, I love California, I love the weather, I love the palm trees, I love the food, I love the people, I love California more than anything. So, what do I do? Do I look for another school out in California? Like, what do I do? Because, like, right now, and then I was looking at apartments, like, short-term 3-month lease apartments in Massachusetts, and I found this place that looks good, but the leasing office, like, hasn't gotten back to me, and, like, for 3 days, like, literally 3 days, I've been calling them, and they're like, oh, we're checking on this, we're checking on that. So it's like, I don't even know. It's like, do I sign a 3-month lease here? Do I even want to be here for 3 months? I don't know. I just feel, like, really alone, and I feel really isolated. And I'm, like, confused. Like, I feel, like, confused. Like, when I went and looked at that school, I was like, wow, this is, like, a college. You know, like, because I'm going to school to be an esthetician, so it's, like, I guess, like, a trade. But I literally was like, wow, this is, like, a real school. This isn't, you know, like, and it's been around since the 70s, and it was, like, so nice. And they had, like, actual lecture halls, and I was like, oh my God, like, this is so much better than the school I was planning on going to. So I don't know, like, do I stay here for a year and go to school here and then go back to California? Like, what do I do? I don't know. I'm just like, I wish I had, you know, like a magic genie that I could just, like, rub and be like, you know, like, I wish that school was in Los Angeles. Like, the few schools I looked at in Los Angeles were so tiny, and, like, I don't know. I don't know what to do. It's just, like, I feel like I'm having, like a mental breakdown. Like, I don't know. I think the best thing to do is probably just, like, sign a 3-month lease here. And then if I don't stay the full 3 months, like, whatever, it would only be, like, you know, a few $1,000s. to get out of the lease, which is like nothing compared to like how much I'm paying, you know, just to like live at a hotel. So, all right, I am going to put this up and I'm going to take a shower and I'm going to clean, I'm going to feed my dogs, I'm going to walk them, and I'm going to try to better myself. But I want you guys to know that like me making this video really did help me. So thank you. I'll talk to you later. Bye.